Okay, but what I want to create a setup something like this. If first command runs successfully, then only second command run. This kind of syntax I want to perform. But if the first command fail, then I don't want to run the second command. Maybe scenario would be something like this. You want to set up some servers. First, you have to install the software. If software installed successfully, then only I want to start the services. First, I want to download data, then I want to copy. First, I want to retrieve some information, then I want to transfer mail it. But retrieving the data has failed, then there's no meaning to send the mail. So this kind of concept mostly very frequently we use. For this, what can we do? Instead we use semicolon, we can use double and symbol. It's like a logical operator. Okay, and how this logical operator work? Okay, whatever you write in the left side, they run this command and check the output of this command. If this output is 0, means true, then only they run this command. Okay, or you can think in this way, what AND do, right, is a normal programming world. Okay, if first is true, second is true, then the whole output is true. But if first is false, second true is false. If both is false, again is false. And first is true, second is false, again is false. This is a very common thing the AND operator do, right, in the operator world. Okay, so logic is simple. If first is false, whatever the second condition would be, finally going to false only. So AND operator in this session, what they're doing is that they're taking a smart decision. A smart decision is they are going to run the first command, in this case the date command, and they know if this can't fail, there's no good reason to run this command because final output going to fail only. So they're not touching this command. They're not running this command. This is how it works. So my point here is, if I run the first command, if first command fails here, date fail, they're not touching the cal command because they know if this fail, even though they run, finally output is fail. As a logical perspective, their output will fail. So they are not touching this command. But what we achieve actually logical perspective or the business logic perspective, right? If you think one command is depend on other, okay, so which are the main command you can type first, then and then second command. If first fail, second won't run. But if first run, then only second run. For example, if I run the date command first and write properly, see here, because the first command going to run properly, see here date, then only they go to cal and run the cal command. Okay, it does not matter if second command runs fail or not, does not matter. Okay, first run successfully, they run second command. If they fail, does not matter because they already run. So whenever I have any kind of logics you have, when you want that, you want to create a this kind of context that I want to run install a software. After software install, then I want to start the services. For example, very quick command. There's one software called HTTPD. It's a web server, HTTPD. And yum is a command in Linux guys to install the software. And Y is option here. Then it's going to install the software. Automatically without asking yes or no. I'm going to run this command, but after this run command, this command runs successfully, then only I'm going to start the services. There's one command in Linux guys to start the services. Okay, but by chance, if this command fail, maybe I write the wrong spelling. If the software installation fail, there's no meaning to start the services because service only start, a program only start after software installed. In this case, you see, first command fail, so they're not touching second one. But yeah, if I run the first command successfully, install, then install the software if I have the software, and because first command runs successfully, so automatically my second command starts. They run in the background, but they start. They will start the program. Even though I can check also to check systemctl status. The way we can check, they start automatically. It was not there, but they start because of this command. So this kind of logics we can create. Now come back to our test command. The date command, I will test is running or not. I can run test. What are the output they give me exit code? I'm going to check the equality. If 0, it means test pass. So this is the kind of test cases we write. I'm testing my commands. they run successfully or not. Now, same time, I want to do one thing. If they pass, okay, then I want to print message, okay, done, successful. Now here I can use this operator enter and say echo done. Okay, something like this. Now what is the logic? If date command runs successfully, this will give 0. Does the equal? Yes. So test will give me equal. Equal means true. True means 0. If it is true, then only they run this command. Okay. And in this case, you know what happened? They show, yeah, this command runs successfully. But if I run the date 1, for example, okay, and now when I run this test cases, this is not 0. So they fail. Because this fail, so and is not going to run this command. So they won't show me this message. Okay. So different concepts we can plug together and create small part of the script. Okay, part of the script. Or one more thing we can do here. For example, like a date command. Instead of and, we can add or also. Okay. You guys know what is or? Same in the programming world. If first is true, second true, final is true. First is false, second is true, again is true. If first is true, second is false, again is true, but both of things are false, then only is false. This is what the or operator, right? In the any programming world. Okay, same thing they do here. If first pass or fail does not matter, they always run the second command. The second command. Okay. Or actually, if they are not working in this way, you can think in this way, what they're doing. If first they pass, they know because we are or operator. Okay, second command fail or not fail does not matter. They're going to pass only. Yeah, this is the way how it works. So they run the first command, they run successfully. So they're not running the second command. But by chance first command fail, this is fail. Now they're going to run the second command because their plan is to finally take it true to check if this command true, I finally become true. So in this case, you know what happened? They run the kill command. First command doesn't run, then only they run the second command. So it is like a backup plans you have. You are doing first backup and first backup is not connecting properly, then go for second backup. But if first backup done successfully, then there's no good meaning to do a second backup or go for other way. Or try to mail your admin if mail server is not working, then SMS. So this kind of use case if you have. Again, I'm not saying those command to you. As we progress, I might share this command to you, but this is not the Linux command training as such. We have commands available in the Linux for sending the mail. We have some command available in the market to send the SMS and all the things. There's different point, but here is about controlling the command. Okay. Now let's come to the test again. For example, I run the date command. What this command will do, what I created last. If this command runs successfully, then this message printed. Now I can add or here and say echo error. Not working. Now this syntax, what they do, if this command runs successfully, this is true. If this is true, then they will run. And because this entire command run, okay, so the what or say, if entire command run in the left side, there's no meaning to run the right side. So error not doesn't print that. But if I run the date one command, wrong command, and if I run the same command, this is now false. And because this is false, they won't run this. So entire part is false. And whatever you have, entire part false in the left side of the or false, then only they run the second command. So in this case, they will print error not. So guys, what I created by this logic, it more like a if or else. Just take this condition. If this condition true, then run this. If condition false, run this. Okay, so it is more like a if or else. Even though we can do same thing with if or else also, but sometimes writing this code in one single line is called inline functional or inline programming. The inline programming is in the market in today's world. So if you know something about functional programming, is a newer kind of programming approach where entire logic I want to create in one single line. Let's make my code small, then my code more readable, because in one single line, entire logic will be there. So you don't want to go and check here and there and up and down. All right. So This is called inline programming. Okay, so it's just one line, entire logic has been created. And here we can create some more condition. Here we can create one more condition, nested inside nested, we can do. But technically, okay, what I've done, I'm testing if this command runs successfully, do this, otherwise do this. Okay, this is what we have created, like inline syntax. Anybody who know programming of any language like C and some other languages, same thing in the programming world we normally do with ternary operator. That normally syntax looks something like this. If you know any programming, where we first write the condition, and if the condition is true, then after colon we write some syntax. If condition is false, so after question mark we write, or whatever the question mark and colon. So it is something like the conditions. If condition true, then after question mark we write the block. If condition false, then we go to else after the colon. So this is mostly the ternary operator in most of the programming language we have. Okay, if condition is true, then we run this block. If condition is false, then we run this block. This is called ternary operator. Shell scripting does not support ternary operator. But if you want to create this kind of code in the shell scripting, we can use this. It's more like if the condition true, then they run this. If the condition is false, then we run this. So shell script does not support ternary operator. Okay, but most of the languages we have ternary operator. Most of the languages we have. Okay, so you guys know this as a syntax, but we can take any example, colon and question mark, this kind of examples, this one. Shell scripting doesn't support, but we can create ourselves by putting this code. But this is not the only way, but this is one of the better and sophisticated sometimes to test our commands. Okay, by this approach. So let me take some more example. Now test is a keyword we can use. Instead of test, we can write one more keyword. Okay, we can write square bracket. This is equals to test. Same thing happen. But date command run successfully. Okay, date one command is wrong. No. So instead you write a test keyword, we can write square bracket also. They are the same thing. Sometimes you can write test, sometimes you say square bracket. They are the same. One small basic issues here. In the square bracket, you have to give at least one space. If you don't give the space, they fail. So before and after, you have to give a space, otherwise they fail. So there's small issue in the shell scripting. You have to just be cautious about this. For example, if you want to create a variable, it's working. But if you give the space, it failed. Or give the space here, it failed. So this spacing matter here in the shell scripting, because it's a command line. In command line, guys, if you run any command and give the space, after space, what you type is an argument, is options. Okay, spacing will create it. Before this, we have a command. After we have different options or different argument. So that is one of the reasons spacing will create a lot of issues. So give the proper spacing here. Don't give the spacing here. Small mistakes. Sometimes it's harder to troubleshoot why this issue is coming up. Okay, like this. This is the guys we are testing on the number. Okay, same way we have tested on the strings. We have tested on the strings, they're equal or not, with this way. Okay, same way we can test on the files also. Okay, so we can test on the file. If the file exists, then only create. If they don't exist, don't create. Okay, so this kind of testings also we can do. For example, this file exists, hydrotext. Okay, so I can test. Okay, how? There's multiple options we have in the test. For example, one of those is called E. Okay, and I have to check this file exists or not. So behind the scene, guys, test will always give a exit code. True, exist. But h1.txt file exists. No, it's not exist here. It's not exist. So normally, guys, in the scripting, if you want to get some data from some file, right? If you have to first check this file exists or not, or to create some new file, you have to check this file exists or not. Then we'll do something. Okay. So for example, now in my script, okay, rather than I create the file directly, okay, whatever file name you give in this variable, I will test first. If this file exists, then true. Okay. If the true happen, I will say echo file already exist. Spelling you guys can correct. Let me first quickly correct. And else, if this file is not exist, then only I will create the file. That makes sense, right? So blindly creating the file does not make sense. Maybe if you create a file, maybe some command, even test command doesn't impact much, but some command maybe recreate the file or remove the older data. It will be dangerous, right? So now, if I run my script again, I'm going to create this file hi.txt. There's no file already exists. Now I'll create a new file as h1.txt. They create for me. Okay, makes sense, right? So by knowing this logics, we can do it. Or maybe we can run this command in this way also. Instead of test, this also syntax we can write. Both the syntax are same. Okay, same thing. We run this, hire 1.txt, file exists, right? So that's what we can do. Okay, so we can check on the file testing also. We can test also there's a file or a directory. We can check also this file has a read permission, write permission, links. So multiple things we can check. So if you see the test and the help, a lot of document available in the market. Help, if the help is available, or maybe if it's not available, just go to manual of the test command. Okay, and here they give you lots of options. Okay, like not equals to, check the string, length is 0. So whatever string we are giving is if the length is 0, to check the string equality. Like in this string equality, single equal also work, double also work. Okay, not equals to, lots of example they have, greater than, less than, between a number, integer, file exists, E. Okay, E means file exists, D means directory. Okay, or lots of things there. Okay, these are the permissions, right, of the file. If file is a read permissions, because sometimes you are running the script from the normal user or not from the root user. Okay, and there, before you do something, you will check the file is readable or not. For example, you can use R. Just very quick test. Let me log out from this user. Right now I'm onto this user called EC2 user. This is general user. This user have not much power. For example, if this user want to read this file, this is a very sensitive file in the system, this user won't able to read it. So we create a script and the script say go into this file and edit something, read something. Before this, what can we do? We can test this file for, does this file readable or not? If readable, okay, if readable, right, then I say, if not readable, I say not readable, not allowed. Otherwise readable, I can say, okay, go ahead. Actually, I write in the wrong order. So if this is false, then this will run, right? So that's all right. If this is false, so obviously this is right. So let me write in the reverse order. Explain this concept already to you. Again, go ahead. Not allowed to read. Okay. So this script says you're not allowed to read. Okay, so there's no good meaning to write this. So here we can write further logics over here. Okay, file is readable, then do one thing, then write the code. They will filter the file, cut the data, put the mail. That's logic we can write here. But because file is not readable, we can't do much. But yeah, same thing if I try to do from my root user, same command, because root user has a power to read this file. See here, copy and paste, go ahead, because this user have a power to read it. So we can use test command to test. They have read power. You have planned to write something in the file, you can use W option to check the write power. If you want to run a script, then you can check X option here to check the file is executable or not. Then only we can run the command or the script. Maybe one script want to run another script, we can check the function. So we have a test command, lots of options, and this is a very great document we have. Okay, all the keyword that is possible in the test perspective, on the files, on the strings, on the comparisons, right? All the things we can we can do here, right? On the test. Now it is your choice. It is your choice. You can test in this way. This is the better approach, I can say, or you can use your typical older approach of if else also to do the same thing. If this condition is true, then do this. If it is false, then do this. That's also you can use with the if, typical if or else way. How? I will explain you in some time. Before this, I'm very excited to explain you some powerful concepts, very unique concept that is a newer concept in Shell script that is available in the latest version of 4 and latest version of 5 of the bash. Okay, that's what I would like to explain you first before we move to this part. What is this? Okay, very interesting, you will love it, and lots of powerful things we can do on the top of this. So let me explain you step by step. And all this commands I will share with you, don't worry about this. Okay, same time keep on giving you documents also, a manual also from where you can refer, but I will give you all these commands to you. And this is a very common thing, you can get a lot of document on the top of this, but I'm just trying to create you step by step all this thing to you. Okay, now let me explain some interesting concept. Okay. Again, this is a very big challenge actually what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, sometimes you know what happened. Let's say I'm going to create a script with the name, so let's say new.sh, and here I'm going to write a echo and say enter your name. That's all. Okay, and then I'm asking my user to give their name with a read command or read keyword, and the name would be, let's say I want to store in the my name variable. Let me run till here, or let me print with echo my name. Okay, now let me run this script. So enter your name. Now they're asking here name, let me give the name here. This name is stored variable, and same variable I'm printing here, so they print for me. One small issue you might see here, when guys you run the echo command, echo guys by default give output plus the new line here. So after output you will see the new line. That's what your next prompt come in the next line, and that is the reason guys when I run my script, okay, enter name come here and then enter the next data they ask. It does not looks good here as in terms of look and feel. So what can we do in the echo? There's option called N in the echo to remove the new line. Now guys, after high, then there's no new line gonna come up. To make the code looks a little bit more better in the terms of look and feel, you can use N option here. A small thing, nothing very technical. Okay, over here. So even though let me do in this way, enter. Here I can write some your name is this one, or maybe you can put in the double quotes. Okay, now if I run this script till here, there's nothing very technical, we can do it. Okay, but you know what happens sometime. Right now we are asking this data from my user, and user guys are users, right? Maybe most of them are non-technical. Sometimes they don't type anything. Here this script is not creating any issue, okay, because this is just a data to print the name, but maybe sometime you're asking the user some software name, okay, some country details, some port number and firewalling, some IP address to connect. Okay, and my entire script depend on that value. If they don't give, something happen, something fail, some might not work the way it should work. Okay, so my point here is, if the user doesn't give any value while giving the input, what it will work. Right now, this value would be null, is not assigned variable. So in this case, nothing come up. It's not creating. But if this value is my entire script, or my critical part of the script will depend on this. Okay, so so it will create an issue. One thing we can do is we can check this variable, okay, with the test function and check if this is null or non-zero. We have option for testing. We can again ask my user, please enter your name is compulsory. Okay, but sometimes this data might not be asking for user, maybe coming from internet, from some command we are fetching from the internet, or this data we're getting from somewhere else. Sometimes mostly data will come up from wherever we're fetching, but sometimes don't come up. This variable has empty value, and my entire script will run it further, and they might not work the way it should work. Okay, so what can we do here? What can we do here? Okay, there's a way in latest version of shell script, version 4 and new version 4 and 5, we can set some default values, okay, to my variables. How? So for this, okay, this is the variable, right? And if this variable is not defined, or variable has an empty value, okay, so let me store this variable in my name. Same thing, right? Or maybe you store in this way, $. And let me use X here. There's no difference technically. Same thing, right? I take the variable value here, same value I store in X, and I print over here. Okay, so Vimal will print nothing will print. Same output. But why I'm doing in this way now? If somebody don't give any value to this variable, is like empty, or maybe this variable may be not defined. It will be any case. Maybe somebody accidentally write unset keyword here for my name. This variable is not defined. But accidentally, multiple developers work together, and by chance somebody write this somewhere, and you after this you undefined, and then somewhere you want to use this. Okay, it will be any situation. Let me comment this first. Okay, in this case, okay, your curly braces has so lot of power. I know, guys, curly braces, if you write in this way, it does not change anything. Same output gonna come up. My name is variable. This variable we can write in the curly braces also. Same will go stored in X. They will print. There's no change till now in my script. Okay, same thing happen. But this curly braces, guys, give you lots of power in your shell scripting. Okay, after a variable name, you can use colon, and after colon, you can set lots of properties, okay, to this variable. One of the properties is called hyphen. Hyphen means if this variable is undefined, maybe unset, or maybe you haven't defined yet, or maybe this variable is empty, means none value. In both the cases, we are to set some default values. Okay. Depend upon what you want. You can set the default IP address, different country name, different name here, let's Linux world. My name, for example, Vimal. Depend upon situations. If somebody don't define it, so don't give the none, just set the default values. Okay, we can do also with the if condition also. If this name was not defined, we test with if. We can set a default value with some testing or if condition also. But it's a long process, because this is very commonly used concepts. Okay, rather we get an entire if condition or the ternary operator by explain to you and or. Okay, this is simplest and the fastest way they have given to us. Okay, if this variable is not defined, then the default minus phase, I'm going to set a default value that is available. Now what you will see here, okay, if I give value, let's say pop print. If I give some other value, that will print. But if I don't give any value, enter, see here, automatic default value set. Okay, because reading the script is not big deal. If you know the command, you can get the scripts, that is not big deal. Okay, the big deal is how well you're organizing your script, how quickly you can create the script, right? That was the main thing while creating the scripts. And this is not the only symbol. Lots of things, something like this, we can do on the top of this. Okay. For example, instead of minus, instead of minus, you can use, I think, equals to also the support here. I think they are the same. So you can use minus or you can use equal. Let me create a comment and paste. So this will be a one document for you. I'll share this code to you. This is also same thing. Let me check very quickly. So say we will write by default setup. And if I write something else, that will be setup. So minus and equals to is the same thing. So if you give, if you use a variable that is empty or that is not set, then the default value is set. For example, maybe this variable you give the value, but it's become unset. You give some value, then it become unset, means undefined. In that context also, maybe you give some value, undefined, they will set the different values. Okay. So both the cases, either unset, undefined, or empty, they can this symbol can work for us. Okay. Or there's some more symbol we can write if the value is set, but the value that you set is null string, empty string. Okay, then also we can set the default values. Okay, so for this we can write, let's say, let me comment this. Okay, and for this we can write a plus operator. Okay, plus operator we can write. It means if the value of the string is set but is empty string, okay, then the default value will be 1. Okay, so these are again kind of kind of validation or default value we can set here. It's very useful, right, in the script. Let me run it. When I say is empty, right, it's not empty, it's empty or unset, so nothing has come up because this symbol works in different. But let me comment this. I'm not unsetting my variable. It's not going to come because again this is undefined or maybe empty. But if somebody set the empty string, let's say something like this is empty string, then the default value is set. Okay, so this is the symbol we can use, right? Or because this is very commonly used symbol, so we can also write in this way also. We don't have to use colon, we can directly write this way also. Both are same. Let me check very quickly. Okay, so yeah, the setup. Okay, so this is one of the concept. So curly braces, guys, is the one who have this syntax. Otherwise, guys, curly braces have lots of powerful syntax they have or concepts they have. Let me give some more example on this, right? It's very useful and very powerful. For example, let's say I have Excel variable and I'm giving the name Linux world as a string. And when I print this, they print Linux world. But let's say I have a requirement, from somewhere I take this information from some file by using some operation. I'll show you lots of operations like sed, awk, grep, and lots more commands getting for data from the internet. Lots of operations we will see in upcoming classes. But after getting the data will come in any format. But what I want whatever data will come up, I want my first word of this particular string become capital, usko capitalize. So what can we do? Again, the curly braces, if you run this, it will give the same output. But in the curly braces, what can we do? We can do this special symbol, this one. What the symbol will do? Okay, will do, they will take the first character of this string and make it capital. So they will make this character capitalized. Or if you use two symbols, okay, two symbols, they will make the entire string capitalized. Okay, this also we can do. Or we have some for example, maybe I have a string y and I'm giving a name v, I, m, a, l. Some character is small, some is maybe l is also capital, A is small, for example. Okay, so now what can we do? Same output comma, but we can use comma here. So comma will work in the reverse. So first character, if they are caps, they make it small. But if I put two commas, they let everything small. Okay, so these are small, powerful parsers of the processor provided a part of curly braces. They can use it somewhere to process a string very, very quickly. So maybe we can use here in my code, what a code would be. Okay, new.sh, and I write here. So I give my name here, X, and in the curly braces, whatever name you provide, I will make my first character as a capital letter. Okay. Now, if I run my script, I give pop, first become capital. Now, because guys, we have said something, so they always take this one, but let me remove this. Because I always make this guy as a default. That's what they're showing you here. But let me use this one. Okay. Pop. Now guess your first way capital automatically. Okay. So this is a some new feature. It's not there in the older version of Bash. For the 4 plus and a 5, they have this level of these are known as modification operators. Okay, so that modifying operator gets supported with the curly braces. That's what I'm showing you here. Okay, like this, we have some more. For example, there's one more interesting operator we have. For example, we have X variable here. Okay, and now in the X, if I write, this is Linux world, right? If I write dollar symbol, not the dollar, I can say what is this question mark or ampersand? No, what this one? What? No, this is different symbol. There's some symbol we can write. Let's see as a progress. I think there's some symbol we can write to cut the last part. Let me recall. I'll just quickly tell you that symbol. Okay, so technically we can, we can cut the last part of the data, and I think this is a percentage symbol, I believe. Yeah. So we can use percentage symbol, right? Right now there's no difference gonna come up. Okay, but what can we do? Okay, in the Linux world, let's say by chance in this variable I'm storing the name Linux world, by mistake multiple D's come up. That was the wrong information. Either you store manually or there's data coming from somewhere else and you want to rectify this string, right? So what can we do? There's no difference come up, but after percentage we can write D, means go to last and remove the last D. Again, I can write one more D, go to last, I can remove the last D. So now it's become, we can clean our data. So data cleaning part, very commonly used, we have to use it, right? Because data is keep on collecting from multiple sources from a log file, cut some part and use the data as we would like to use. Okay, and then maybe After this, I want to add as Linux worlds. So this data we had, I want to remove last two Ds and put new data here after S. That's the words. So after curly braces, we can write, for example, S. The S will come up, or SSSS. So this kind of way we can do. So whatever data has come up, we can add something in the last, and something we can remove. We can give the name, what part you want to remove from it. Okay, so this is what we can do. Or one more interesting example I can see here is, let's say we have this list of files. Okay, a list of files, and let me take one interesting example. So I am going to store one file path. For example, I have path called first path 1, then second path 2, then third path, hierarchy of path we have, and then we have a file called hello.txt. So this is one path of my URL, maybe of some URL, or maybe some path, absolute path we store in X. Okay, or maybe what I want to do some changes in my URL. Okay, I want to remove the .txt extension and I want to convert to HTML in my URL. So what I can do, I can say $X. Okay, in the curly braces, same thing. Okay, now I can do again the percentage and say just remove .txt. See here, .txt. Okay, but there is a possibility they might have .txt or txt or something else, maybe different kind of formats they have. Okay, so instead we write txt, we can write dot star. Anything after dot, whatever you have, remove it. See here, same output gonna come. Okay, and then add .html. See, so automatically, so cool. Without this also we can do it by cutting the file. Cut commands we have, or AW command we have. Okay, but these are very commonly used things, so they give you very quick modifiers for this. Okay, by using this word modifiers, we can very quickly do in this latest version over here. Okay, or what can we do here? Maybe if you just take the X here, this is how it look like. I want to remove all the thing from here. Maybe this is my protocol, and the protocol, what are the path we have, file name, we have to remove it. Okay, so you can say again percentage. Okay, whatever we have after slash, nothing happened because they will start from last. After in the last there is no slash, but after slash, anything you have start, remove it. See here, only this part they remove from the URL, only this part will come up. Okay, that's what you can do. For example, let me take one URL look like this: http://www.google.com, right, /data/hello.html. All right, or maybe some port number, let's say 443. So these are very typical URLs we have, right? Okay, and the URL, maybe I'm looking for to get only the route of the path, or maybe only the protocols or the URLs. Okay, so I can take it how echo $y, same thing. I say I want to cut some part from the last. Okay, and what in the last slash, what do we have after this? Cut it. Again, go to second last slash, what do we have? Cut this. See here, this first slash means first here, after this, what do we have? Cut this. Okay, or maybe we can write colon here and then star. Look at this. So this same pattern I'm writing here. After colon, whatever number you have, doesn't matter, cut it. Okay, so we can come with the final protocol. Okay, so this kind of combination we can write. Again, this star is actually regular expression, right? So if you know about regex or a regular expression, we can do anything in the regular expression. Okay, anything in the regular expression. So that's also we guys can do. Okay. So this is one thing. So like this, there's lots more powerful thing we can do with the curly braces. We want to cut this part, get this part, show in some other variables, get cut from the starting. Okay, all those things we can do. My understanding guys point here is, okay, we have a data, we have the file, we have the commands in our operating system, in our network devices. Okay, but to get the data from the file by putting some condition, after data come up, only some part of data you want to need, then you send some mail, you want to put in some file, convert to PDF, convert to images, right? All those automation